Good morning, everyone. My name is Jillian, and I am the Assistant Manager and Donor Coordinator at Brain Bank Singapore. And we are really happy to be sharing more about Brain Bank Singapore with you today. Brain Bank Singapore was launched in November 2019, and we are a national brain tissue bank supported by 4 organizations, namely Lee Kong Chian School of Medicine, National Neuroscience Institute, National Healthcare Group, and NUS Yong Loo School of Medicine. We work closely with various hospitals and healthcare institutes, such as Tan Tock Seng Hospital, Singapore General Hospital, Changi General Hospital, and Institute of Mental Health. We work closely with the medical team to reach out to patients, as well as to provide talks like this to patient support groups. We also work closely with some of our community partners for educational awareness to reach out to members of the public, such as with Parkinson's Society Singapore, Singapore National Stroke Association, Multiple Sclerosis Care, Social Health Growth, Dementia Singapore, as well as Agency for Integrated Care. We would like to begin by talking about the human brain. With so many neurons and connections, the brain is possibly the most complicated tissue in the body, controlling everything that we do and think, and is even working while we sleep. With this complexity comes vulnerability to a whole variety of brain conditions, which may be neurological or psychiatric in nature. Current drug treatments of these conditions affecting the brain are either not very effective or unavailable to halt the disease progression entirely. These medications merely treat the symptoms of these brain conditions. There are challenges facing neuroscience research, and the first challenge would surround the use of animal models in research, and this does not accurately reflect the way human disease progresses in humans. Secondly, will be the lack of relevant biological material, such as brain tissues that have an Asian genetic background, to study the way human diseases progress in the Asian population specifically. Lastly, unlike tumor biopsies, brain tissues can only be obtained once someone has passed away. There is a need for future research to continue having a better understanding of brain conditions such as Parkinson's disease. Research questions for Parkinson's disease may seek to answer these research questions. Firstly, why are there different progression or susceptibility rates for Parkinson's disease? Research can also seek to identify early Parkinson's disease biomarkers for early detection and diagnosis. There will also be genome-wide association studies to study the way Parkinson's disease develops in a population, and also genetic and molecular targets for precision medicine and better treatments for Parkinson's patients. To fully understand diseases such as Parkinson's disease that affects the brain and develop better drugs for treatments of these conditions, there really is a need to study the actual brain tissues that are damaged by the disease process. Brain Bank Singapore has been set up as a tissue depository to collect brains from patients with brain disorders, as well as healthy individuals. And this tissue donation is pledged and consented for after death. These donated brain tissues will help researchers understand how these neurological and psychiatric conditions damage the brain cells and really contribute to help in the development of new therapeutic treatments for our future generations. The vision of Brain Bank Singapore is to help develop new treatments for a whole variety of brain disorders through continuous research. And these may be for brain conditions that are neurological in nature, like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease, or psychiatric in nature, like depression and schizophrenia. And to do so, we hope to provide a national resource of this post-mortem brain and spinal cord tissues for continuous research. Over here is an overview of tissue donation programs in Singapore. So we would like to highlight Brain Bank Singapore over here on the leftmost column. On the rightmost column is HOTA, which most of us may be familiar with, which is the Human Organ Transplant Act. And this covers all Singaporeans above the age, and PRs above the age of 21. And this is an opt-out scheme. So that means that all of us are automatically included in this program. This covers heart, kidneys, liver, and cornea for the sole purposes of transplantation into living patients. The middle column is an opt-in scheme, which is MTERA, which stands for Medical Therapy, Education and Research Act. So this covers tissues such as any organ, body part, or whole body donation for the purposes of transplant education and research. Brain Bank Singapore is separate from these two programs, mainly due to the legislation we are covered by Human Biomedical Research Act. Brain Bank Singapore, as an opt-in scheme, will require you to sign a separate consent form if you choose to pledge for brain donation. The donated tissues will be brain and cerebrospinal fluid for the purpose of research into neurological conditions such as Parkinson's disease. Anybody of any nationality can sign up, and individuals with or without mental capacity may also sign up. So that means that if a person lacks mental capacity, such as due to severe dementia, an appropriate next of kin or legal representative may complete the consent form on behalf of this person. Over here on the right is a sample of our FAQ brochure that can be found on our website for the e-copy or in hard copy in various clinics, such as in NNI. If there are any interested donors, the first step would be to discuss your interest in becoming a donor with your family members or legal representative. This step is important so that your family members and loved ones are aware and agreeable to your wishes. Step 2 would be to arrange a meeting with Brain Bank staff, such as myself, to learn more about brain donation so that we may clarify any questions that you may have. To sign up, you would need to then complete a consent form where we would register you as a brain donor, and you would receive a donor card with an emergency 24-hour hotline for your healthcare team or your loved ones to contact us in the event of death. We would also like to share a bit more about what happens after death during tissue retrieval. So the first step would be Brain Bank Singapore will receive a call either from your loved ones or the healthcare team, and we ask that your loved ones contact us as soon as possible so that brain retrieval may proceed. Brain retrieval would need to happen within 24 to 48 hours to ensure that the tissues are stored optimally for use in research. The Brain Bank team will then help to facilitate the following arrangements, and also such as obtaining the death certificate. The next step would be we would arrange for transportation with the casket company to transport the body from the place of death to the site of tissue retrieval, which will happen either at SGH or NUS. The cut is done at the back of the head. Tissue retrieval is obtained from the back of the head. The cut is from ear to ear, and this procedure may take about 3 hours. This cut is done at the back of the head so that open casket funerals are still possible. There will be minimal changes to the visual appearance of the body in the casket. The cut is not done in the front, and the face and hair, skull is retained. Once the brain has been retrieved and completed, the Brain Bank coordinator will then ensure that the body is returned back to the family as soon as possible for any further funeral proceedings. Throughout this whole process I described, the Brain Bank coordinator will be updating your family to keep in touch about the process. So how can you help? You may consider becoming a brain donor or refer interested individuals to us. We'll be happy to clarify any questions that you or your loved ones may have. We hope to spread awareness about Brain Bank Singapore, which is a national brain tissue bank that anybody may sign up for. And let us know your opinions or concerns about brain and tissue donation as well. And we would like to end by saying that the health and hopes of future generations rest on the discoveries that will be possible through tissue donation. that contributes to continuous research. These are our contact details. You may call us to speak to us on the phone or drop us an email for any questions that you may have. You may also find our e-brochures on our website, available in English or Mandarin, or follow us on social media for any updates to events or talks that we may do with our community partners or members of the public. Thank you so much, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.